Good morning. This is Perrin Cornell of Coldwell Banker here in Wenetchee, and I'm with Carla Mullins. Carla and I have been working together for a number of months. And Carla, um, you've got a background in real estate that people might want to know just a little bit about. So why don't you tell them?
Yes, definitely. Hi, Perrin. Thank you for having me. Yes, like Perrin said, I've been in real estate since 2013, almost 10 years. And actually, within that time frame, I was also in the mortgage industry. So I hung up my real estate license for a couple years and went into the mortgage side of the business. I was helping buyers come in and get pre-approved and helping them through the process. Maybe they needed help with their credit scores or tips on how to save for their down payment and just structure the loan to that best fits their needs and goals.
Super. Now this one's going to be off the wall. I forgot to tell you about this, but since you are bilingual, why don't you just say a little bit about what you said in Spanish so that if other people know about it, they can pass you on to whoever they're dealing with, okay?
Claro que sí. Hola, buenos días. Me llamo Carla Mullins. Soy agente de bienes y raíces aquí en la área de Wenetchee desde el 2013, cuando obtuve mi licencia de bienes y raíces, pero después de trabajar unos cuantos años ahí, me puse a trabajar también de prestamista, o sea que yo les ayudaba a mis clientes a obtener un préstamo para comprar una casa. Y hay veces que pues no mucha gente sabe de su crédito, cómo mantenerlo, cómo le va a afectar. Ahí yo les ayudaba, los guiaba para que ellos podrían subir su crédito para que podrían calificar para un préstamo. Y hice eso por unos cuantos años también y ya después me volví al negocio de vender casas como de bienes y raíces.
Super. Thank you very much. And I think you invited me to lunch. Is that what you were saying?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Tomorrow at
all right.
noon.
Okay, well, now since Carla's joined us, she's done a lot on the selling side of homes, and she's listed some too. And in fact, she's got one listed right now that we're going to be talking about a little later. But primarily, we're going to be talking about selling. So, when you get a new seller, how do you do? What do you do? How do you do? And what do you start with?
Well,
Or excuse me,
definitely.
buyer. I'm sorry.
Yes, a new buyer. Well, we have a typical conversation as to what their real estate goals are, where they're at in the process. Have they already started looking for homes? Have they even talked to a lender? A lot of buyers, when I come first in contact with them, usually they don't know where to begin. So they call me for guidance. And one of the first things is, great, I'm excited for you. And I start asking a series of questions. For instance, have you saved up for a down payment? How much money do you have for a down payment? Will you need down payment assistance? And I'll talk about their credit score if they even know where they're at with that. And
Okay.
a lot of times they don't. So I guide them as to where to look for that.
So, what happens if someone is a little short on down payment?
Well, there's different options. So this is why we work hand in, very. So we work closely with the lender to determine what the best loan will be for them. So if they are short on funds for a down payment, then maybe we check to see if they qualify for a down payment assistance program, or depending how much they have, maybe they have very little, but maybe they qualify for a 3%, 3.5%. But we're gonna take it the holistic approach of a person, looking at not just what money they have, but also their credit score has a lot to do with that, just to figure out where they're going to fit with the best loan for them.
Okay, well, also kind of because as long as we're on this one, we'll head another direction in a minute. But there's more than let's say 5%. There's more than a 5% down payment required in cash. What are some of the other things cash-wise that they need to be aware of going in?
Exactly. So even though there are down payment assistance programs where you can potentially come in with zero down payment, there are other costs associated with buying a house. And one of them, for instance, would be paying upfront for home inspection. Some buyers who, especially first-time home buyers who aren't sure of the process, they need to be educated that there are still going to be potential costs associated with the buying of a home. For instance, the home inspection, which could be, a few $100s depending on the location, the size of the home, and the professional that you higher. And there's also closing costs associated with a loan. So
Yeah.
when you come to the closing table, you're probably most likely going to need some cash, some money up front to pay for those closing costs.
Yeah, usually that runs rough and dirty about 3% of the purchase price. It can be less, it can be slightly more, just depending. As you indicated earlier, credit can have a big part in that, and the particular type of loan that you're doing. So, okay, so we got somebody that's been approved, and you're all ready to take them out and show them a house. What are some of the first things you do when you get ready to show them a house? Do you tell them to go to an open house first, or look online before you take them out, or do you just dive in?
Well, nowadays, many buyers begin their home search online. So they'll have an idea as to what's already out there, and they'll have a few homes narrowed down that they would like to go see in person. However, though, I always ask them to send me the link, because sometimes just Googling a home or homes for sale in the area, you might come up with a home that is already pending and it's still showing active. So what I like to do is I research that particular home that they want to take a look at, or I actually put them on my own email list so that they get notified directly from the MLS when a home hits the market.
Super. Now, when I walk up to a house with a client, and we each probably do this slightly differently, but I'm usually talking to them a little bit about the house and pointing out some things they might be able to see as they walk up, like the roof or the siding or the hole in the front window, or various things. What are some of the things that you like to point out to your clients and try to help them understand the house?
Yeah, so that's definitely something that I always keep an eye out to, is the home itself, the exterior. What is the roof? What shape is that in? Are there any noticeable cracks or leaks or anything that might potentially
Sure.
could be damage to the home, or it could potentially also, this is why being pre-approved and what type of loan you have, we can discuss different issues with the house, if any. For instance, if there's any peeling paint, well, if they have an FHA loan, then that might be something that that might affect my buyer getting a loan. So those are the types of things.
Yeah, for sure. That's absolutely right. Not just with FHA, but VA and I think even USDA, that'll become an issue.
Right.
Okay, so you're in the home and you're showing them around the home. Are there any special things that you point out as you walk through the home and you're showing them? They're looking at the home saying, "Oh my gosh," and lots of times miss stuff. So sometimes we kind of have to guide them. What are some of the things you say or do or show?
Definitely, yes. We start talking about the size of the rooms. What is it going to fit their needs, their family needs, or wherever they're at right now with their home loan process. So I like to walk them through. I like to have a copy of the listing with me, because there are some things on there that sometimes the listing agent will note on there that might not be quite visible, like how maybe there's a dog run out there, a garden on the side of the house. We talk about whether it's on septic or sewer, whether it's on the well, and what that all is going to entail when we structure our offer, if they decide to move forward.
Okay, so they decide they like the house and you're going to write up a contract. What are some of the things, and something that everybody needs to understand is that, in the state of Washington, a contract to purchase a home is a written document and it's legally enforceable. And I always like to tell my people up front that if it isn't written in the contract, it doesn't make any difference. If they promise you up and down that they're going to clear that pile of junk out of the backyard, if it's not in the contract, you could be stuck with it. So, but other than that, what types of things are covered in the contract to help them understand again how wide the purchase is, how myriad of things we cover?
Right, exactly. So we'll note on there on the first part of the page, the very first page of the purchase and sale contract. It's really just going to be a summary of the entire contract. So you're going to list, you know, if you want the washer and dryer, the microwave, or maybe the deep freeze in the basement, or you know, anything like that. You're also going to have earnest money, which is something else that I didn't bring up earlier, but that's cash that you will need up front when your offer is accepted, and it gets sent to the title company, and they will cash that check. A lot of people think that they're just going to hold it and they're not going to cash it. And so maybe not all the funds are there, but yes. So one thing I always educate my clients is those funds need to be in your bank account because that check will be cashed at the title company. So, and then in the contract also will state, you know, the legal names, the address, the legal address of the home as well, and all the addendums that are associated with the contract. For instance, a home inspection, I always recommend my buyers to pay for a professional home inspection, because the inspector is going to go in there and go into the crawl space, check to see if there's any leaks. If there's, you know, major things with the house, but also minor things. Maybe there's some missing tiles in the bathroom, or you know, maybe you need some caulking on around the bathtub or anything. So they'll note all the deficiencies of the home and provide you with a report. So, so that's going to be something that we will include in the contract, saying, hey, I want a home inspection before I actually go through the home purchase of the home.
Okay, we're back again, and I was commenting that Carla has some properties listed that and this is one of her newest ones. One of the things I think that's kind of interesting about this property is it was through a relocation company, one of the bigger relocation companies in the United States. And it's nice to be able to getting business from people, quality people like this, because it reflects well on you and on our group. Anyway, tell us a little about this house, Carla.
Yes, so this is a 2020 home built in 2020. It is in Malaga. It has great views of the mountains, the surrounding mountains, and of Lake Cortez. It is about 1,700 square feet, and it's about just shy under a third of an acre. And it's just beautifully maintained. You can see here's the backyard, and there's the views of the mountains and Lake Cortez right below. There's a garden area over to the side, and there's your yard. It's just beautiful, vaulted ceilings, just and this
Large building.
yes, large building does stay, and there's the kitchen and dining. Just very clean.
Super.
Yes.
Now, how much is this house?
So this house is listed for 549,000.
Okay. And you've got an open house coming up pretty quick, don't you?
I do this weekend, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So this Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. we'll have an open house. So
and the address for the open house?
The address is 2949 Riviera Boulevard.
Right. Okay. Yeah, come on out. You know, again, one of the things Carla was talking about is you need to know the market. If you're a first-time buyer or even a third or fourth-time buyer, you need to know the market, especially if you're just new to that market, like maybe a relocation could be. So you need to go out and look at a couple of homes that are on the market in your price range. So you can decide what kind of house you want, because both Carla and I think we've seen people come out and say, well, we want a 2-story with 4 bedrooms upstairs and then a large living room and family room downstairs. And then they end up buying a Rambler with 2 bedrooms on the main floor and a 1-car garage. I mean, and it's all a matter of, a lot of it is money. But it's also a matter of you see other things and you get other ideas. So, Carla, I want to thank you for taking your time with me today. Why don't you give everybody how to get hold of you, how to contact you, and then we'll talk about this later.
Yes, thanks, Perrin. It was great being a part of this wonderful series. And you can call me or text at 509-699-3597, or you can email me, Carla at cbcascade.com.